Macro loot farming just got banned? Really? Did Bungie take a definitive stance on it? Update 8.0.5 rolled out earlier this month, bringing solstice, exotic class item drop rates, changes, and more. We're taking an opportunity to update our restriction and ban policy to include AFK macro loot farming. For those wondering, what is AFK loot farming? This was posted 10 minutes ago. This is from, and I actually heard about this over this past weekend. Macro farming in Destiny, people were taking advantage of it primarily for farming chests within the Pale Heart to, of course, farm for exotic class items. Now, it appeared like this was fine. I mean, everybody was doing it. Matter of fact, if you were to look at way back in the day when we used to forge farm and we would literally leave our characters in forges overnight, I would take a controller and like literally shove it in my couch and just literally have my character going forward and then wake up to my character having a bunch of resources. So technically, that's not macro farming, but it's within the same category. But let's just read this right here. So update to Destiny 2 restrictions and ban policy input macro loot farming. Starting today, we've revised our restriction and ban policy to include the use of input macros to automate gameplay. While input macros can be a beneficial accessibility tool for many, and we intend to keep it that way, some have been leveraging these tools to automate gameplay. Players detected using automation to circumvent idle detection or perform automated activities to earn loot may be restricted or banned. Loot includes, but is not limited to, XP, materials, or drops, for example, exotic class items. All right, so so people would actually do this too. They would macro farm XP. They'll leave them somewhere. Essentially, they're just in there pressing their trigger over and over. And, you know, I don't know how much XP this would net you, but you may have come across some people that have like an insane seasonal level or like insane amounts of XP they've accumulated. This would have been like, especially like, or the previous seasons. That was due to XP farming, right? Now, automation or circumvention includes, but is not limited to, the use of programmable controllers, keyboard and mouse adapters, advanced macros, or artificial intelligence. We got AI macros now? What? Actually, I heard about this the other day. I heard that even in games like RuneScape, there are now AI scripts where your character literally has an AI script, supposed to be like really, really good and also hard to detect, but your character will perform so many realistic like clicks and moves based on what you yourself would perform as a player. Now, granted, RuneScape has a very low tolerance on this thing. Like they will outright ban. Like a bot, but with it, I guess the AI thing and everything has got AI attached to it, right? Especially these days. But supposedly it's harder to detect. Whereas like previous scripts were the same. That's why whenever you were like, if you played any MMORPGs, you know, people that were like, you know, gold farming or resource farming, you'll see all the characters move literally at the exact same moment. And they move in the same direction to the same resource. So that was a static script. Where AI scripts are becoming more difficult to detect, instead of it going in this one direction and then let's just say, for example, going counterclockwise, hitting all these resource depot points. Now, it will just hit various points randomly. So it's harder to detect. How Bungie's able to detect this, I don't know. But the point is, they're clearly stating right here, programmable controllers, which I don't know if this would count, but I'm assuming that if I was to take a rubber band and put it on my controller and wrap this thing up and leave myself in an AFK farm, maybe that would count, right? Keyboard, mouse adapters, advanced macros, or AI. All right. Now, we have no plans to retroactively issue bans or restrictions to anyone, and any bans or restrictions related to this policy change will be issued for future infractions. Didn't we just have a wave of people banned this past weekend, though? They say retroactively they won't issue any bans, but wasn't there a ton of bans? Players who are currently using or have used macros for the above purposes may receive, an in-game message warning against the future use of macros. Okay, so you're only supposed to receive a warning. Additionally, a small amount of account actions have been issued over the last few days for unrelated term of use violations. So the people that have been banned here recently were, in fact, let me just say, I also reported like a number of people last weekend in trials, and I got the little prompt, the little prompt that says, thank you for your contribution to this person getting banned. I wish there was actually a place in Destiny and just make it its own instance, but essentially we could just chill there, but every time someone is getting banned, and we can watch the public execution, maybe even vote on the way that Guardian should be executed, since they are going to be perma-banned. Yeah, Wall of Shame, perhaps. Yeah. Oh my God, vault stripped. Dude, what if there was something too, like if you cheated in Destiny, your vault got stripped, but then anyone that was at the execution area could take your loot? That would be wild. Oh my God. All of your stuff gets distributed to new lights. Dude, that would be great. Now, as a final note, accessibility in games is important to us as we continue to look at opportunities within Destiny 2 to expand upon accessibility options. We want to ensure players who are using macros for the purpose of accessibility and will not be actioned upon. All right, so the point is, if you had macroed in the past, you should not have been banned retroactively. The people that were banned this past weekend were for other terms of use violations. Everyone else should get a warning, and macro farming overall should be dead. Now, here's the issue. How is this going to affect checkpoint bots? Because checkpoint bots are macros. They literally stay running 24/7, 7 days a week. Wouldn't this mean all checkpoint bots are now banned? Oh my God, I'm gonna have to go get my own checkpoints now. They don't gain XP or loot, so they're fine. Yeah, but it says players detected using automation of circumvent idle detection or perform automated activities to earn loot may be restricted or banned. Okay. Oh, that is true. Hold on. It says right here, loot includes XP, materials, drops, or exotic class items. And checkpoint bots, they don't get anything. They're just a checkpoint bot. They literally don't get anything. Ah, fuck, it's the or part. Or perform automated activities to earn loot. That needs some clarification. I would think so. They want to kill the game so bad. Here's the thing. A month ago when Bungie saw everyone macro farming, they seemed pretty chill about it. Surprisingly so. Because that's bannable in just about every MMO I've ever played. Like even the most simple macros are bannable. I had a macro set up inside of RuneScape, which was just me high-alking. It just was literally clicking over and over on high-alking items in my inventory. I got a 7-day ban or something like that. So even like something as simple as that would get you banned. You played RuneScape? Yeah, I don't really talk about it much, but yeah, I played RuneScape at one time and you know, spent a lot of time in that game and tried a bunch of different things. I know from my experience there that auto-clicking, macros, things like that will get you banned. Let me go back to Twitter. Let's see what people are saying over here. Yeah, they say right here, there it is, but you're an a-hole for banning people before announcing it and acting on it. Destiny 2 team right here from the post. Any bans, restrictions related to this policy changes will be issued for future infractions. Additionally, a small amount of accounts actions have been issued over the last few days for unrelated term of use violations. No reply on that one. Okay, all right, well, there it is. Can we also make sure that crouch macros and PvP are banned too? I don't know if you guys know this. People actually will go to this extent to try to win 1v1s. Instead of you clicking manually crouch, they click a button and your character just crouches over and over. That way you just focus on just shooting. Wait, Destiny has PvP? But teabag shooting is so cool. Yeah, I have more fun digging holes for 14 hours a day than I do opening pale heart chests. I told y'all macros were bannable, but people said no, they not. Base, but now it's time to do something about why people opt for those paths in the first place. Great point, Data. That's a great point. Yeah, that's it, man. I think that macros, you could see we're keeping, like being okay with macros can get out of hand. Now, there are some games that actually have in-game macros, like Final Fantasy 14, for instance. You could set up an entire macros. It's a really cool system. You could set up macros within the game itself. And literally with the click of a button, you can carry out a string of commands through its in-game macro system, which I think is amazing. Now, what you can't do is obviously like set your character up to just continually farm something over and over without incorporating some sort of third-party software. And that's where things get sketchy, because you got to ask, like, how can you differentiate between what is just a simple macro or something that could be perceived as a cheat? That's the difficulty of it there. So I think that getting rid of macro farming in general, or just macros in general, probably is all right, considering the negatives that can definitely come from macros outside of just the AFK farming that you see here. But secondly, Bungie, we really, and I know they're going to start by this Friday, opening up the opportunity to farm exotic class items through Xur, but that is going to need to be something either duplication protection, either just giving us like double loot weeks inside of Dual Destiny. There needs to be just some things to improve the drop rates for exotic class items and allow people to obtain those things while just having fun playing the game. Like, that's the other thing too. It's like, if the activity is really fun, farming is not that tough, and Dual Destiny is a fun activity for like the first few times that you play it, and then afterwards, like, all right, this is getting kind of old. If like exotic class items could drop from running a Grandmaster or from a Master Raid or from Onslaught, Wave 50 has a chance of dropping, or even Trials of Osiris Flawless, like, people would feel like, hey, I'm doing these activities that I have a lot of fun in, but I'm also getting the loot that I want to get. Oh, that is true. That's a great point. From Grimlock here, I think it's getting ready for people to not AFK farm strange coins for exotic class items. So you think with Xur having the ability to give you exotic class items, people were going to possibly be AFK farming strange coins? Yes, I think it's going to be like 41 strange coins. Is Xur a guarantee? Yeah, you turn in 41 coins to Xur starting this Friday, you get an exotic class item back. That could have been a concern. I don't know how. I haven't really looked. Like, what are some of the ways you could AFK farm or macro farm for strange coins? What would have been some things you could have done? Because strange coins kind of drops from everything, right? You could literally set yourself up to AFK strikes, AFK crucible, I want to say. You just load in and sit, leave your character. That's the problem, guys. That's the problem. Bungie knows. So imagine you going to play a strike or going to play crucible and half your lobby is AFK. What I'm saying is I get why Bungie's doing this. Not only for, you know, addressing past issues with macro farming, but the potential future issues. I think the biggest thing that's going to hurt out of all of this, and I hope Bungie could just be okay with this, is for checkpoint bots. The checkpoint bots are fantastic, man. They save a lot of time. And, you know, I know a lot of you guys are probably like, Cross, just go get the checkpoints manually. But dude, checkpoint bots, man, they're wonderful. And I'm going to really, really miss them if those are gone. Why not just add exotic class items on Grandmaster completions if you already unlocked it? I don't know. Maybe Bungie doesn't want a one-stop shop. Maybe they're like, no, you're already getting Ascendant shards. You're getting adept loot, in-game materials. I mean, you're not getting alloys. And I guess they might just be like, we don't want you getting everything from GMs. But, you know, my thing, I feel like you should always attach the most coveted rewards to the most played or most fun activities. I love Onslaught, even right now, even though you can't even get shinies. I mean, you could attune weapons, which is fantastic. I would run Onslaught even right now because there actually is a few weapons I still want to get. And if I could double up and possibly get an exotic class item to drop too, hell, that's a win-win all day long. Checkpoint bots are safe. It has been posted on Twitter. Really? Oh! All right, perfect. From Destiny 2 team, seeing some questions around checkpoint bots. We have no plans to issue restrictions or bans to checkpoint bots under this policy change. Breathe easy. On that topic, hit us with feedback on what activities you most often use checkpoint bots for and why. Happy to pass that along. I use checkpoint bots really for everything, but I mean, it's primarily because we're trying to damage test, or maybe we're just trying to farm a piece of loot. But I mainly use checkpoint bots for damage testing. I know that's not for everybody, but that's good. That's good. So checkpoint bots, completely fine. All right. Well, this is just going to hit. Let's get a poll now. Do you like macros being banned? Wow. Okay. How do you feel about these AFK macro restrictions? 84% say good. Wow, that's great. All right, fellas. I think that's good.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.